Sorry, Billy. I believe he's not a
Check, check. Oh, yeah. We should be a whole lot better here, Kyle. I'm going to turn my gain down a little bit, get it a little bit better. But we should be chilling now. How do we sound in the system? Do we sound pretty good? Mic test, test 1, 2. Test, test. Test, test. Test. Test, test, test 1, 2. Sound pretty good? Or the gain, I think makes it a little bit worse. See how that goes. No, that doesn't change. Mic check. Welcome here to Whiteland Raceway Park for the very first annual Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge. My name is Xander Clements here live on Kart Chaser around the world and in the paddock here today. Obviously, James Hinchcliffe, not a, unknown name to many households, but you've been busy on both sides, and now you're here doing media stuff to start, but you're racing this weekend too.
Yeah, it's nice to be back behind the wheel, man. It's been a fun year up in the booth for NBC, but once a driver, always a driver. So when I got the opportunity to come out here and rip around in a go-kart, wasn't going to say no to that. Doing it for a great cause, some good friends, should be fun. Yeah, and we were talking about, obviously, the weight disadvantages. We got some lighter teams. You don't have the exactly lightest team out there, but right.
We just got some information here. You guys, at least all the pros, when you go out for your stint, will be on a level playing field. Has the trash talking started yet?
Oh, it started days ago. Yeah, there's a couple group chats that have been going around. Connor Daly and I actually snuck down here on Wednesday, I think, Thursday maybe, and did a couple laps just to kind of get familiar with the place. Now, Connor was basically born here. I mean, this is where he grew up racing. I had never been, shamefully. So I had to come down, check the place out, and we posted something on Instagram, and immediately we're getting blown up by Alexander Rossi saying, "What are you guys doing? Are you testing for the race this weekend? I'm going to take you guys out." He was already so fired up. So, yeah, it started early, and it's been just progressing nicely. And I think as the heats start going and we start seeing where carts are shaking out, it's going to get a little more aggressive. And then come the drop of the green flag in the final, it's going to be an all-out war.
And we got something cool that we just announced here. What's the exact number do we know that we get to get that competition caution, or have we already hit it?
Yeah, well, we're going to go. So what we decided was if we could raise $1,000 here, in the paddock on the day, then halfway through the 20-minute final stint, we're going to do a competition caution, get everybody back together, do a restart. So get your wallets out if you're here, and let's make sure we get that happen because that's going to be fun.
That's going to be super cool, obviously. All the 80-minute enduro split up in 4 20-minute stints, beginning in order with the amateurs, 3 amateurs, and then 1 pro, obviously, on the team. Now, with that competition caution, with everything on the line, bragging rights, this isn't the Indy 500, but what will it take, to get the win? Are you willing to go all the way out, final corner, sending it?
Absolutely. I mean, the season's done. No one has anything left to. Well, I say that. There are 2 drivers on the grid that still have to go race Petit Le Mans and have a championship to win.
All right,
so I already
enough.
know that Hartley and Albuquerque, they're out. There's no way they're going to be as committed as the rest of us to making those moves on that last lap. But I'm looking at guys like Connor Daly. He knows this place really well. We know Alexander Rossi knows how to send it. He wants to get another W on the board for the season. This is my first race of the year, so I mean, I want to go for batting 1,000 for 2022, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, are you kidding? The bragging rights got to be through the roof. If you're like, guys, I sat on the sidelines this entire year and I just whooped you guys today, right?
Pretty embarrassing. It's going to be pretty embarrassing for them when I win.
Well, it will be really cool. And then, what about for your team? Obviously, are you like one of those serious coaches? Are you all over the amateurs so far? Have you met them all?
Well, I've met them all now, and they had fun in the practice session and then the qualifying. But I told them, hey, look, guys, you just go out there and you have fun. This is what it's about. Find someone that's your pace. Get out there, mix it up a little bit, have some fun. You leave the serious stuff to me at the end.
Okay.
Because we're all going to get to start, in order of how everyone's been running. We're all going to be on the same lap at the end there. So if I need to fire off 6 or 7 guys, it's okay. Yeah. I am willing and able to do that.
That's nice to hear. It sounds like you're a pretty good team captain, team leader. I feel like if I was maybe under Alexander Rossi's team, I might be, a little bit worried if that first amateur practice I spun it.
Looking at YouTube videos and data right now in the back of his car. I mean, it's just too much, man. It's too much.
Come on, man. We're here to have some fun.
He didn't get it.
James Hinchcliffe here, and we're going to be bringing all the pros to talk to you before we go green and during the race as we watch all the amateurs go at it. James, thanks so much for spending some time with us. We appreciate it.
Of course. And just a little note, it is Alexander Rossi's birthday today. If you'd like to make fun of him on social media or here in person, please do.
Thank you, guys, here. We'll be back with more action as we get set for the first ever Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge live from Whiteland Raceway Park here on Kart Chaser. Park here for the first ever Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge. We just got done speaking with James Hinchcliffe, and now we are here with Connor Daly. Connor, thanks for joining us here in the booth. How does it feel to be a part of this event for the first time? This is so cool, man. The crowd came out too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, events like this are a great time. And like I started racing here at Whiteland, so it's kind of wild to come back. And I'm impressed that Alex Rossi's here because he hates go-karting.
Right.
And I'm impressed that we happen to drag Brendan Hartley out here too, which is, he's a legend, obviously a Formula One driver. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a good group. And honestly, all these guys, we all get along really well too. So it's cool. I asked Callum Ilott literally 2 hours ago if he wanted to come and do the race, and he said yes. So it's great.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Now, I did get some insider information from James that you and him were doing a little bit of borderline legal testing earlier this week. What was the reason for that? Did you feel like you needed to get an edge after growing up here to just get more laps on everybody else?
Realistically, no. I just didn't have anything else to do in the day, and Hinch said that we needed to go out there, and he wrote the kart off lap one, and so our mechanics had to replace the steering shaft. So James has a lot of rebounding to do today, and hopefully he can do that for his team members. But we'll see what happens. The testing was fun. It beat up the body a little bit, got us used to what we're going to experience probably this afternoon.
Yeah, that's what the other part that we're expecting. We got a competition caution if we hit the $1,000 goal midway through your guys' 20-minute stint. 20 minutes is already relatively short. That's a main event sprint kart race. Now we're basically got 2 heat races, and outside of Felipe Albuquerque and Brendan Hartley, the rest of you guys got months to west this off. So James says he's willing to send it at all costs. Are you?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we didn't come here to lose. I mean, it's something that is a big pride thing until maybe ever. But it's also Alex Rossi's birthday. So if you see Alex Rossi, please shout at him happy birthday. He hates attention and any acknowledgement, so it's important to let him know that we all care about him and that we all love that he is turning another year older. But my team, we did go down there. We had a brief discussion about lines and about use of throttle and brake at the same time. Don't do that. And burning out the clutch, because I heard from one of the Margay folk down there, Keith Freeber, he was like, yeah, I think your guys are maybe burning up the clutch a little bit. So I went to make sure that we told them that let's just not use both pedals at the same time. Let's not go backwards with our foot on the throttle, and just a few maintenance things, because we want to make sure that we have a wagon to compete with at the end of the day. Yeah,
nothing worse than if you're the one bringing out an actual caution midway through that pro stint, right?
Yeah, if the thing's on fire, it's not. I don't want to be in it. You know what I mean? That's tough. So we'll see what happens.
Well, Connor, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Any more words here for the viewers back home, everyone in the paddock? Do you have they're betting on you, I'm sure, on all the bets between.
Oh yeah, this is big on a sports book site, I'm sure, somewhere. I think dark horse Callum Ilott, I think he weighs about 65 pounds.
Yep.
And someone said he was a European karting champion, which is really annoying. And he brought his Formula One helmet here, so I bet he's feeling really cool. And other than that, I think Hinch is going to be great, but he might get tired because he's retired now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's tough. But who knows what's going to happen. But again, everyone's going to come down to basically using weight excuses and equipment excuses, and it's never the driver's fault. So just always know that those 3 things are just going to happen.
Well, that's what we are hopefully going to see a little bit more and get some more flavor and commentary and character out of everybody. Connor, thank you so much for joining us in the booth here. We appreciate you coming out for this one.
No problem. Thank you.
We've got on-track action already underway, everybody. We'll send the cameras over to it, bring more pro drivers on in. The first of the 3 AM stints are underway. Connor, James, and the rest of the crew will talk to them a little bit more, and they'll be back underway later on today with that final 20-minute pro stint to finish it off. We've spoken to James Hinchcliffe. We've spoken to Connor Daly. We've spoken to active stars in the NTT INDYCAR Series. And now we're up here with a legend. Al Unser Jr. joins us here in the Whiteland Raceway Park booth. Obviously, super involved still in a lot of junior Formula Series. You've got Elliot Cox you've been working with for a little bit as well. But this weekend, you're back heading up. Are you heading up a team as well here this week?
No.
Staying away from it at all?
I am staying away from it. I think Connor just said it. You get a bunch of race car drivers out there in go-karts and bad things are going to happen to your physical body.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, talk about this place. Again, the Whiteland Raceway Park is such a storied history. This is one of the oldest kart tracks in the country. To see not only all the renovations that have been done, to have a crowd like this out here for just a charity event, how cool is that for you as a longtime motorsports native?
It's super cool. We were here with Andy and Sarah when they put the historical marker out front, and it was acknowledged as a historical site. And so, I grew up in go-karts. I started in go-karts, and so it's just great to see.
Yeah, we've got a few of those junior stars. Somehow they slipped onto the amateur teams. I don't know how some of those kids got on there, because I think they'll be lapping quicker than the pros. With all that said, you don't have a dog in the fight yourself. What teams or drivers do you have your eyes on, if anybody? Is there anyone looking you think will be quick, will be crazy? What should the viewers expect?
Well, I think the one who survives, to be honest, with the drivers, they were upset that they didn't get any practice. I know that was one of the cases, but they're pros, so they got to get out there and just get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what racing's about, right? Being the last one to let off the gas.
That's right. So I'm just super happy that I'm not out there with them.
Well, you got an awesome view here. We have the timing tower. You've been hanging over in the suites, and what a cool facility. Now that Sarah and Andy, they've done such an awesome job. I mean, it really is a great racetrack. And then the expansion plan that's coming out here over the winter is going to be huge to put this thing back on the U.S. map again.
Yeah, they've done so much with this place, and it's just going to get better. They're doing a lot more to it, and go-karting is so popular, and thanks to Andy and Sarah, it's just going to get more popular. So,
well, Al, we thank you so much for spending some time with us. Obviously, you'll be like us, enjoying the show.
That's
luckily,
right.
Safe and not in it. So thank you so much for joining us here. Al Unser Jr., everybody. Already, as we've seen a handful of thrills and spills here in the opening stint for the Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge. Here's a great view of the action, spearheaded down by the start-finish line straight, and the blue flag already coming out for one group in the middle. And you've got just such a wide range of experience. We've talked about it in a couple of those interviews with James Hinchcliffe, Connor Daly, of course, Al Unser Jr., that there are definitely a few go-karters that have somehow made their way onto the amateur teams. At the same time, you have some true amateurs, and then, of course, the mix of weights and everything. We've already got one kart beached over there on the infield of the second-to-last hairpin. Not sure who we've lost in this opening stint, but again, the first of the three amateur groups, and they're set to go in order. But a good shot at the lead group right here. I believe that's Austin Fairfield, one of the MPG Motorsports mechanics. He slipped his way into the field, but I won't say he's the only one that definitely I wouldn't classify as a complete amateur, although Austin Fairfield, he kind of teeters on that line a little bit sometimes when it comes to driving. Either way, great run for them, and you can see a little bit of elevation change. They go through that high-banked, flat-out left-hand 90-degree corner, drop down into a 180 hairpin, and then they'll come back into the infield, crest the hill here onto the front straightaway with the way the layout runs on the Whiteland Raceway Park circuit layout that we've got selected for this D4D Pro-Am karting event. And they're side-by-side back for second in the grouping, so that'll shuffle a little bit as the field goes on by. So we're coming down now here to about 3 minutes left in the first stint. We've got one driver off on the far side of the racetrack over by the flat-out left-hand 90, and it looks like the on-track crew trying to do what they can to clear the go-kart out of the grass, get him back on, and we'll give you an update of where everybody currently runs. But 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. We saw we had a little pack for the lead early on. Austin Fairfield was leading the MPG Motorsports livery, and I believe he's got a pretty stacked team altogether if he's the first one out. A few of these drivers on the racetrack, again, relatively quick on their own because a team is that strong. It should increase throughout each of the 4 stints, ending, of course, with that 20-minute pro division at the very end. And, of course, we're trying to see if we can get to that $1,000 donation goal here by the time they go green to give ourselves a halfway caution to group them back up. They'll all get put back on the lead lap, so while all the teams will have a race to see how many laps ahead or behind, all the amateurs will fall in the 3 drivers that'll compete for them. We'll put everyone back on the same lead lap, kind of reset it as if it's the NASCAR playoffs, and add a little bit of spectacle to it for the final stint on the day, because everybody wants to see all the pro drivers going at it on a level playing field. Like Connor Daly and James Hinchcliffe joked about Callum Ilott weighing about the same as a 12-year-old. Some of the other drivers that are on the grid, he might have a little bit of an advantage, and of course he's got that European karting experience. We're racing American-made Margay chassis and American-made Briggs & Stratton motors, so we're going to hope that our IndyCar American stars maybe can take the fight to them. We'll give more info on that here with about a minute to go in the first of the 3 amateur stints, live from Whiteland Raceway Park for the first annual Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge. Her amateur driver has led the way, so what an awesome start for the number 55. You go down the order, we talked to James Hinchcliffe and his team. They are towards the bottom of the leaderboard, just inside the top 10. Looks a little bit behind the likes of Connor Daly and Alexander Rossi, I believe. And the MPG Motorsports Group in the 51, they are third at the end, or third and fourth for them, along with the 67 of Elliott Cox. He's going to be going in the pro division later on, but they're fourth in the opening segment. So the first of the 3 amateur stints are completed. It gives us a little bit of time to talk to more of the drivers. You'll see the whole field work its way off the racetrack, begin to make its way into the pit and grid area for some driver changes. And with that, again, we'll be cycling the field out to the second rung of 3 amateurs on the order. So they'll do the driver swaps. They'll send it back onto the racetrack for another start. We'll take a quick break. When we come back here on the audio channel, before we go green, we'll talk to the man who has helped put this whole event together, Travis Cox, to give you an idea of where you can donate, because if you want to see the stars of IndyCar, IMSA, sprint car racing, and around the motorsports professional world go at it and have a competition caution at the halfway point to stack them up again, we just got to hit that $1,000 total. And to hit that marker, again, you'll be able to donate in a number of ways online if you're watching the stream, and of course here in the paddock as well. So welcome back to the Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge here at Whiteland Raceway Park. Alongside me, Travis Cox. Obviously, you started this awesome organization here in charity with you and your son Elliot. And, man, what a turnout, first of all. I know, it's probably been crazy putting this whole deal together. You had pro drivers, of course. They're like, high school girls. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to come. Yeah, I'll be there. No, I don't know. Are you going? And somehow, here we are. We've got a full field. We've got a packed out place. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. It does take a lot to put this together, and I can't thank everybody enough that has volunteered between all the teams, between Whiteland Raceway Park, all of SIK staff, all the other volunteers and the drivers. It's just been fantastic, and it's come together perfectly. And
so let's get to it, right? Obviously, we've got a lot of ways for you guys to support Driving for Dyslexia, which obviously benefits children with dyslexia. And just like Elliot, showing that they can do anything they want to do, including chasing the dream of becoming a professional race car driver. And if you want to support that cause during this live stream, you're going to help make it a little more entertaining for yourself, because we just got to hit that $1,000 goal to get the likes of Alexander Rossi, James Hinchcliffe, Connor Daly, all the pros when they go out for their final stint. We want to throw a little banana peel, get a halfway competition caution at the 10-minute mark. How can they do that, Travis?
Yeah, there's several ways that people can donate. We've got a Venmo account, which is at Driving for Dyslexia. So it's at Driving, the number 4 Dyslexia. PayPal is our email, driving4dyslexia@gmail.com. And then our website is drivingfordyslexia.org. So any of those 3 ways, and I believe it'll also be streaming on the Kart Chaser as well.
Yeah, we'll get a little graphic up here as this stream goes on for you guys to help donate to the overall purse. And again, Travis, closing thoughts. Obviously, I'm sure you're still running around, so I won't keep you too long, but anything else to part with the viewers and everyone here in the paddock?
Yeah, I can't thank everybody watching enough for just supporting everything, and really want to thank Xander and Kart Chase for streaming this. It's just been absolutely fantastic. At the end of the day, this is a charity, and the more money we can raise, either through the auction, I think the live auction is actually over at this point, but there are still links that you can donate through. Obviously, Venmo, PayPal. Let's just raise as much money as we can, because at the end of the day, we're raising money for a good cause and helping dyslexic kids learn how to read.
Well, it's super cool, and we've already seen one stint go out with a little bit of thrills and spills. We're going to send it down trackside here. We'll let Travis get back to it and managing everything going on, of course, with his awesome team putting on this event. When we come back here on the interview booth, we'll have Alexander Rossi joining us in just a few moments as the second of the 3 amateur stints are getting set to go green. Back here in the Whiteland Raceway Park booth with Alexander Rossi. First of all, Alex, happy birthday. Obviously, James and Connor, they've already outed you. They've been outing you to the whole paddock. They're trying to get you to get swarmed. But, at least spending your birthday at the go-kart track can't be the worst place to be.
No, not at all. It's a great venue. It's a beautiful day, and the turnout's been fantastic. So I'm really happy to be here. And be here with my buddies, James and Connor, obviously, and we actually recruited some guys I used to race against in Europe with Philippe Albuquerque and Brendan Hartley. So that's awesome, and just happy to be here for a great cause.
And we were talking to them about their teams. You've got your team here. Have you been doing a whole lot of coaching with their group? We can't see it behind the camera here. James Hinchcliffe is just absolutely hounding you already. You're getting just no space at all.
Yes. So whatever. James is having a great day. That's awesome. At my expense. But yes, in terms of the teams, I met my 3 teammates. One of them seems to be very quick around here, which is great for us. I'm probably going to be the weak link. Haven't driven a go-kart in 6+ years.
Yeah, and, since the Supernats a few years ago.
Don't worry. It was the watch. Did not go well.
But yeah, and then this week, James and Connor, they cheated though. I mean, they came out here for Alexander Rossi. Obviously, again, happy birthday! Thank you for spending some time with us. We wish you the best of luck, and hopefully, again, the superstar that you got on your Pro-Am team can help carry the weight a little bit.
Absolutely, man. Look forward to it.
All right, Alex Rossi here. He's got to get back. He's got his awesome team getting set to go green. The second of the 3 amateur stints is about to get underway. You're watching the Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge live from Whiteland Raceway Park. We'll be right back. We've got a great start off the bat for most. A couple drivers a little bit slow. Unfortunately, one slow off the line was the number 10, but the quickest driver, again, the Team 55, McKenna Haas's team. We'll get her up into the booth to talk to her. She's one of the few open-wheel drivers that wasn't in the Indy 500 here this year as a sports car. Oh, man, we got multiple spinners on the opening lap going around over into the high-speed bank, and that was your leader on the opening circuit spinning around. So lots of chaos on the very first lap, and Austin Olds, again, like I said, he's one of the MPG Motorsports national karting drivers. Don't know how at all he ends up in the second of 3 amateur groups, but he's got a big-time lead. McKenna Haas's team in the number 55, they are second, and we'll give you an update of where everybody else is, as there's a little bit of chaos there coming across the line with the final few drivers working their way around. But Austin Olds leads the way here so far in stint number 2 for the amateurs on the Pro-Am Karting Challenge. So we're continuing to work our way here through the second amateur stint of 3 for the Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge. 6 minutes, 15 seconds elapsed, a little bit under 9 minutes to go on the total. Austin Olds in the MPG Motorsports MPG Motorsports entry. Actually, no, I believe is he in the number 5 or the 51? I think he's in the 51 for MPG Motorsports indeed. Then the McKenna Hassey machine and the number 55 team, I believe, should be second in this group. We've got another spin over in the middle of the racetrack as working our way through the center of the session. The sun's starting to come out a bit, but more than anything else, a lot of the amateur drivers that you're seeing on the circuit here have only gotten 2 short 5 to 7 minute practice sessions earlier on here this afternoon, and then we're thrust right into the race. Again, the practices counted kind of as they're qualifying, and we're seeing the second of the 3 quickest drivers on the team, the middle driver of the 3 amateurs on the grouping. If you're just tuning in right now, again, we are having the donate links at the bottom of the screen, obviously to help support the awesome cause of Driving for Dyslexia, with all the funds going to help children with dyslexia chase their dreams and to help them make their way up through school as well. It's such an awesome program. They do so many cool things for children with dyslexia, and it was started by Elliot Cox, as he has dyslexia as well and is chasing his dream of becoming an Indy 500 champion. And he's well on his way already into junior Formula cars and has done quite a bit on the order when it comes to karting championships and karting race wins. And he's spent quite a bit racing here at Whiteland Raceway Park. He was on the racetrack yesterday, was a couple corners away from snagging another club race victory before a mechanical failure sidelined him, but a quick kid and an Indiana kid as well. Cool to see an Indiana racetrack to match that has just been completely facelifted year and year again since Sarah and Andy have taken over the facility. They've pumped so much extra love into this place, and you can see it. Track looks fantastic. A huge expansion plan is on the way, and while we talk about that, we've got one more kart getting pulled off the racetrack there that was just off the edge. You can see it at the outside of your screen here as the field works the final corner. So one of the teams, unfortunately, with a bad run in the second group. The good news is when the pros get onto the racetrack for their final stint, the 4th of the 4-driver teams, all the laps will be set where everyone's back on the lead lap. And so while they're trying to compete on their own, ultimately getting to drive some laps for an awesome cause, when we get to that final ending of the race, the last 20 minutes, it'll all be on the line for the pros of IndyCar, sports car racing, the world of outlaws, and more. And not only that, if you donate to any of those links below and help us reach our goal of $1,000 donated by the time they go green, we will throw a competition caution halfway through. We've heard from all the drivers. They want it. They want another excuse to group back up, get a restart, and get all over each other again. And it will be very entertaining, to say the least, when they're all out onto the circuit. There's been trash talk. There's been unofficial testing. And we've talked to a number of the drivers in the field. We'll talk to a few more as this stint continues on here with about 5 minutes and some change to go in the second of the 3 amateur stints here at the Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge, live from Whiteland Raceway Park. You're watching here on Kart Chaser. continuing the updates here, working on getting the live ticker up and going from Whiteland, but to give you an idea as you can listen in and watch all the action. Right now, the MPG Motorsports team, spearheaded by the pro driver Elliott Cox, leading the way here in stint number 2. McKenna Hassey's team in the number 55, they won the opening stint of the week. They're second at the moment. The number 25, Hunter McElroy's group, the Indy Lights driver and Indy Pro 2000 champion. He's looking pretty solid. He's got his amateur driver in the second stint, currently third overall. Then you go further on down the order to the number 83. That's Matty Brabham's team. He's got them fourth currently on the score charts. And they'll all cycle a little bit again. The laps will all be reset. We'll put all the pros on the same lead lap at the end of the day for their stint. But cool to see some of the amateurs getting after it. And the session here, obviously a little bit cleaner and a little bit faster than that first group. This last group of the amateur grouping, it'll feature quite a few quick drivers that were looking good in that second round of practices. But Austin Olds takes that Elliott Cox machine, the number 51, through to about a nearly half-track lead. I think he's got a massive gap back to the number 55 camp and more. He continues to lead the way, and they're coming down to about 30 seconds to go. So the checkered flag will be getting set to fly, or the red flag really, on the second stint of 4, right at the halfway marker here of this 80-minute enduro to benefit Driving for Dyslexia, the first annual Pro-Am Karting Challenge here at Whiteland Raceway Park. And again, if you're just tuning in, the reason we got those donate links at the bottom of the screen, and we'll have full commentary and coverage of the final stint when all the pro drivers from the IndyCar, Sports Car, IMSA World, and more get set to go head-to-head, because not only do they get a 20-minute sprint race to the finish for the overall team winner and winner on the event, if we hit the $1,000 goal of total donations, we will be adding a competition caution at the halfway mark to make basically 2 10-minute heat races to regroup them for a second time. And again, the drivers you'll be looking on your screen to watch, we talked to a number of them already. Connor Daly in the team seamless number 20, Hunter McElroy, Elliott Cox, Brendan Hartley, Alexander Rossi, Ed Carpenter, McKenna Hassey, Matt Brabham, of course, James Hinchcliffe, Felipe Albuquerque, and R.C. Anderson are all on the ticket here and ready to get after it in their session. But they're watching their amateurs do battle as the checkered flag flies on stint number 2. And just like that, we're right at the halfway mark. One more amateur stint here to come with the next fastest drivers on the team in order. And the pros will be coming up here in about 25 minutes.
I'll let you have right here, man. Here, come on, I'll get you right here. How about this? Car chasers. Yeah, see, look. I control with this, and then my zoom is right here.
Wait, is that live? Yeah.
It could be if they turn it on in there. They're controlling it in there. I just have to point it where it needs to go. See, I'll point it at Chase.
Wait, can they hear you?
I don't know. I would say that the sound is probably Xander up there talking. Oh man, this looks frightening.
I've seen arm get wrapped around an axle. You're probably good.
I've wrapped my own arm around an axle. You'll be all right there. I ran it like that No, I bet it. That's probably some of the most epic moments that I've seen.
Did he crash by himself over there?
He said someone pushed him, and then I said, no way.
I didn't see anybody.
Well, the tires were cold. I'm like, what are you doing? Making excuses. It's sitting on the floor over there where all my shit was. I was
Is Macro right now? I got it. Yeah, Hunter Macro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have to tell you not to do that.
Don't do that in New Jersey. They got mad at everything. And then they won't let you race on top of
Charlie, my friend was like 40 pounds less. He just got me like, I have
Just don't come out of it. Have to get back in.
actually awesome. He's 15 pounds. Probably helps from running.
It's so fun to stick the core. Got a valve cap there. That's more weight. What's he talking about?
Charlie!
See nothing. Yeah. You know, that's what they care about.
Oh yeah, we got some rain for Evan.
Chris,
Dude, I just got some rain out there.
have you seen Megan's bracelet?
No. Oh yeah, I saw it earlier.
No, because it fell off somewhere, and she said it fell off right around here, so I can't find
Well,
it.
she was standing right here. So. Yeah, it's already at Chase.
Like straight at it.
I wish we had something that I could stand you up here. You can see it. Here, look up. See it?
Hey! Guys on the start. Yeah, flag goes up. There you go. And he's good. We're back to normal. Finally go up. Down. spin before we hand it over to the pros, so keep it clean. Fire 'em up.
Stint number 3, the final stint before the pros come on, but we got a lot of karting pros in this one. It should be entertaining. Look at Chase Jones in the 51 for MPG Motorsports. Hops off the wheel, and he takes the Elliott Cox machine to the lead. Right behind him, Devin Smith-Harden, the pro shifter driver, as well as a team member on the Arrow McLaren SP IndyCar team for Felix Rosenquist. Goes over the wall, and the pit crew member here, he's up to second as they go to the hairpin for the first time. They're side by side back behind the top two, getting away, and Harden stuffed it down the inside on Chase Jones. Devin Smith-Harden, a quick and decisive way to get to the lead. Jones back on him, and man, oh man, are we finally starting to get treated to a show here in Whiteland. One lap complete so far for this third and final amateur stint. Chase Jones leads him through turn number 1. Devin Smith-Harden pushing him there. Jones wants in to work with him. The battling has allowed a few more to close on in. Evan McCorkerdale was second off the line. He got jumped back to the 4th spot. It's about a 6-car train headed into the hairpin. This time, Jones holds the lead over Devin Smith-Harden as they exit, and we'll put 2 laps in the books with a spinner on the inside infield grass here, with the leaders working their way around the final couple corners, and that spin, as he slowly gets put back on the racetrack, he'll go a lap down, or at least a lap further behind. And Jones in the 51 still shows the way. And we'll continue to work on the graphics for the live stream to give you guys that live ticker and live leaderboard. A little bit of glitches with it, but we should have it fully sorted by the time the pros hit the racetrack later on today. As Chase Jones takes the field through the final couple turns again, it looks like third in line is starting to make up some ground. That's on Alexander Rossi's team. He mentioned he felt like he had a go-karter that had a lot of speed, the quickest of the amateurs, and it looks like indeed he does. Alexander Rossi's operation in the number 27, quickest on the circuit, closing in on the top 2. Let's see if Devin Smith-Harden pulls the trigger for the lead. He will. Looking inside. Devin Smith-Harden goes by on Chase Jones, and they're still side by side though. Jones will fight back. It's the MPG Elliott Cox crew alongside with, I think that's the group on the 67. Let me see what number we have for Devin Smith-Harden. No, he's on the number 25. That's for Hunter McElroy's team. So he's in second, and they're all stacking up. The more they battle, it'll bring more into it. Here he goes with the McElroy machine to the inside, and he's clear this time on the MPG Motorsports number 51. Here comes the rest of the pack into the hairpin. They'll stack them up 6 deep here for the lead group. Lap traffic on the way, and the leader getting a bit of separation as Chase Jones is going to come under heavy fire here from Alexander Rossi's camp as they go to the final couple turns. The lap traffic giving way that time, nice and easy for the blue flag with the orange stripe. And so now, unfortunately, the next lapper is going to get caught in an awkward position. That'll hurt the leader just a little bit as they work their way through, and he gets caught wide. And Devin Smith-Harden and Hunter McElroy's group, they were leading. They followed him up the racetrack, gave up 2 spots in the process, and the number 51 MPG Elliott Cox machine goes back to the point. Rossi cheering on his amateur driver up to second, pushing away on the 51 of Cox's machine. He'll have a shot at him in the hairpin if he wants to for the first time. Looking, maybe not this time, for the lead. He'll stay in line. It's still a relatively short stint, even though it's an overall enduro. No, he did get him. Got him. Alexander Rossi's number 27 now goes to the point. Jones back to second, and right behind Devin Smith-Harden there aboard the Hunter McElroy number 25. Then I believe we've got possibly Felipe Albuquerque's team, running in the 4th spot if I'm not mistaken. And look at this. The McElroy machine, piloted by Smith Harden, gets by Jones, back to 2nd. And Alexander Rossi's amateur continues to show the way. He gets a bit of a bigger lead now by about 4 car lengths, headed through the hairpin. Chase Jones now fighting off Evan McCorkadale in the number 55 for McKenna Hassey, I believe. McCorkadale hangs on to the 5th or 4th position. We've lost 1 driver overall, unfortunately, but McCorkadale at least remains where he's at. Cox as well, and then they've kind of separated up at the front. So I don't know who we lost in the hairpins or somewhere. We were 6, now we're down to 5. But great run for the Alexander Rossi number 27 camp here in stint number 3. Stint 1 won by McKenna Hassey's team in the number 55 as the leaders catch the lap traffic in a really awkward spot. Nearly contact there as they were going through the 3rd to last corner here in Whiteland. Blue flags are flying all around the racetrack, and fun to watch all around because this is the closest battle we've seen to what the pros will be showing later on. The grandstands are filled, the suites are filling up, everybody's got their eyes on this 5-car. Super quick lead pack having to navigate lap traffic every single lap. It almost looks like a multi-class sports car race, similar to what you see Brendan Hartley and Felipe Albuquerque competing in on the weekends. And look at this, 3 wide down the inside. Elliott Cox, piloted by Chase Jones's team, goes through to the lead, and they're all going to stack up as they come onto the front straightaway. Jones, Smith Harden got into 2nd, and now all the way back to 4th for the Alexander Rossi camp as they fight through more lap traffic to turns 2 and 3. This is wild. Here's Smith Harden. Does he go to the inside into the hairpin? He'll look for it, trying to get through, bring up another spot for the Hunter McElroy camp. He can't do it. Going through to turns, 4 turns to go, 3 to go as the quick lap comes to an end once again. And again, this 5-car pack coming down the front straightaway. This is for the lead and the win in stint number 3 at the D4D Pro-Am Karting Invitational. And man, oh man, we got another spin on the backside of the racetrack while the leaders work their way through the big hill. We had a couple drivers get together there into the final couple corners. So Chase Jones still leads, and you can see here coming across the line, not the ideal run there for the number 19. As he goes around, was involved with one other driver in the spin, but that was the driver for R.C. Anderson's camp. So R.C. Anderson's group fall into the tail end here of stint number 3. All right. So joining us here in the Whiteland Raceway Park Tower is Felipe Albuquerque, and hate to pull you away because this third final amateur stint, these guys are putting on a pretty good show. Your team obviously competing here today, and when you get on track for the pros, the IndyCar guys, their season's done, right?
Yeah.
They're here to just kind of really get after it with each other. You and Brendan Hartley actually have business to attend to after this weekend, so how 100% are you going in that main event?
Yeah, so obviously we don't want to get bit by the IndyCar guys, right? We need to show them how it is. But yeah, we need to stay easy because, you know, they go all or nothing. They have time to recover if they have an injury. So we are racing next weekend for the most important race, and we are fighting for the championship, so we need to calm down. But you know how we are. Once we get the action going, we get ourselves carried away. So yeah, I need to keep reminding that the championship it's next weekend and not this weekend.
Right. It's obviously for a great cause here this week. $1,000, of course, for Felipe Albuquerque and the rest of the pros to get a competition caution halfway through. For you, obviously, coming over here to Whiteland Raceway Park, have you been to this facility before?
No, actually it's the first time, so I never did a single lap around here. So I have a lot of experience in go-karts, but I just jumped in my go-kart and I can barely reach the throttle. So it's going to be a challenge for me. I mean, you guys are a little bit taller than Europeans in a way, but so bit, yeah. It's going to be a challenge for me. So let's see how it goes. And as obviously the go-karts is super important to, you know, rental go-karts. It's just like I'm just seeing the race now going on, and these guys are picking up speed like a lot, so it's putting a lot of pressure on us. Like, oof, that's quick.
Yeah, so we were talking like the amateurs here. They're not amateurs. These guys are racing karts every other weekend.
I'm glad they're not racing with us, right?
Yeah, they're not.
Okay,
no,
I'm glad with that. Like, okay, so we may be going to be like a second slower than that. But if we keep it in a pack, it will be fine.
Yeah. Oh, this track is perfect for it, right? These are the lower horsepower karts, not as quick as like the top European or American classes even. It'll pack everybody up, but this track is perfect for it. This is an old school American track, one of the first go-kart tracks ever built, one of the oldest ones still in existence, built back in, I believe, 1957.
Oh, wow.
Super, super cool, super historic facility here. It obviously looks really nice. It's had a facelift thanks to Sarah and Andy over the last few years, but you're actually, you know, part of history here coming back here.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward for it actually, to the banking actually. So I mean, from an European coming over, like it's like you guys like to put banking in all the tracks, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. So it's gonna be my first time here, but yeah, I came over here. I've been doing like HPD with the simulator. We are going now into the new regulation with LFDH going on.
Right.
And that's the reason why I'm here before so early before the race. So next weekend I'm going to go again on the sim, working with Brendan on the seat. And off we go on Wednesday to Petit for the race. So yeah, and now let's warm up here for the race today.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It'll definitely be hot on the racetrack. I don't know if we can call it a warm-up or if we're going to call it just an all-out fire, but
World final.
It'll be something like that for sure, my man. Thank you so much for spending some time with us,
Thanks for the invitation, and it's a great cause as well. So let's not forget about it. So when they invite me, like, you want to come? Sure, I'm all on for it. So yeah, it's a great cause. So good job on doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, you know, it's trash talk already. The IndyCar guys think they can put on you. Do they have any shot at it, or do you think, oh, you got them covered?
Let's see how it goes.
Okay. On the trash talk,
I need their home soil, so I need to respect that. So let's see how it goes. Like, yeah, I think the most important is for the show and have fun.
Right.
And then we'll see how it ends.
All right, well, we'll see. Again, remember, guys, Felipe Albuquerque and the rest of the pros, if you want to see them have a competition caution at halfway, split that main event in half. Donate. We're hitting that $1,000 goal, and all the links below on the live stream. Felipe, thank you for joining us here.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to try my best to give you a good show.
That's, again, Felipe Albuquerque, guys. Back to the on-track action here. We'll cut off on the audio in a moment. Then we'll bring Brendan Hartley in as the third and final stint of the amateurs starts to wrap up. Update of the on-track action of what we got so far here for the Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am third and final stint for the amateurs. We were watching Chase Jones and Devin Smith-Harden. They're representing Elliott Cox in that MPG Motorsports number 51 operation, as well as Smith-Harden for Hunter McElroy's team in the group. And they've been working together. Now Smith-Harden will go down the inside and he'll get by him, but I believe they've been shuffled back a little ways outside of some contact. We were side by side for a good portion of it, and both drivers that look to be in second and third. We were watching earlier, Alexander Rossi's camp had a quick driver that unfortunately got mired back in some traffic. They led and put the number 27 blue and white machine to the front of the field for a good part of this opening half of the stint, but they've been shuffled down the order. So now as they run. It looks like it's all changed up just a little bit here with about a minute to go. And the number 33 machine currently is your quickest driver and the leader overall. Smith, Harden, and Jones a little bit further back. It's going to be the 33. I'm not sure if I have the exact one. Oh, that's for Ed Carpenter. So Ed Carpenter's team, they've been kind of a sleeper here this weekend and through the day. Did not go quickest or the win in stint 1 or stint 2. But the number 33 for Ed Carpenter Racing right now is the leader here in the final amateur stint so far, being hunted down by Devin Smith Harden. So Hunter McElroy's group might make one run at it here late in the going. White flag in the air here. Can Devin Smith Harden get there? As you can see, the final lap's underway. We've got our camera right on the battle for the lead in the last of the amateur stints. As soon as the checkered waves, we'll have a quick word with Brendan Hartley and then send him down because he's going to have to get suited and booted, ready to go after it for the Pro 20-minute feature with hopefully that competition caution. Lap traffic is in the works, but it looks like the Ed Carpenter Racing number 33 team will get the checkered flag in the third and final amateur stint, just ahead of Hunter McElroy's bright yellow Velo number 25. And then the MPG Motorsports Elliott Cox number 51 will end third in the amateur final segment of the day. The stint for the pros is coming up next here. We got one of us in the booth. We'll chat to him here in just a moment as we get set for more action from Whiteland Raceway Park here in Indiana. The Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge has one stint left. We'll talk to the last of the few drivers we haven't talked with yet here momentarily. So welcome here to the Whiteland Raceway Park booth. Brendan Hartley, thank you for joining us. We talked to fellow sports car driver Felipe Albuquerque. You've obviously got experience in everything, all the way up to the top of the motorsport spectrum here at grassroots level karting, and we're lucky to have you here on kind of short notice. Where do you feel like you're going to stack up against all these Americans that have a few laps here?
I have no idea, but as Philippe said, a lot of respect given to they're on home soil, but no, it's fun. It's a cool event. I actually only found out about it 2 or 3 hours ago. Philippe gave me a call. He was in the car with Alex Rossi. He said, "Hey, do you want to come to this charity go-kart event?" I was in. I just flew in last night from Europe, so I'm doing Petit Le Mans next weekend. But yeah, it's cool to be here. Cool to see so many people, up-and-coming drivers, amateurs, and everyone having a lot of fun. Yeah, again, like Felipe was saying, he seemed like he was happy that some of the karters that have grown up at this racetrack are not on the racetrack with you guys. Like you said, you got Petit Le Mans next week. Felipe says he knows the championships next week, so he's got to be smart about it. What about you? I mean, are you fearless here today against any of these guys? I mean, I think when you put the visor down, you never know. But
yeah.
I was actually thinking about it before. It's been 20 years since I raced a go-kart, which makes me feel very old. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be up against some of those young guns.
No, they were going at it here. And again, such a great cause for Driving for Dyslexia. Brendan, we thank you so much here, obviously, for joining us. And you've watched the amateurs go at it. Have you learned anything from this old-school go-kart track at all? I think a lot of it's just going to be that first lap.
I love the fact that there's a bank corner. I've never seen that on a go-kart track before.
Really?
I mean, we've got some old-school stuff in New Zealand, but yeah, I'm looking forward to figuring it out. And yeah, I haven't watched it. I heard some of the other guys have been watching onboards and preparing. I'm going to figure it out in a few laps. We'll see.
Well, at least the hopeful part here is we get that competition caution. So again, that's nothing new to the guys in the sports car world or the open wheel world. They're used to restarts, maybe a little bit of jumping, whatever, to get the edge you need. Brendan, thanks for chatting with us.
Cheers, guys.
All right, again, Brendan Hartley, he's got to get ready to get after it. He's got to quickly work his way down to the grid to get on and into the go-kart for the pro stint. We are set for action here from Whiteland Raceway Park. 20 minutes, a 10-minute competition yellow. If we hit that $1,000 goal, I believe we are right up on it, if not already past it. So it's going to be super cool to watch all of the stars from IndyCar, from sports cars that have had levels from Formula 1 down to go-karts and in between, and junior formulas, of course, with Elliott Cox. All of the pros are getting a little fuel in their go-karts down on the grid, and they're going to get set for more action here from Whiteland. We'll be right back.
The first cart needs to be about where the 51
Yes, sir. Colt won 17-20.
Okay. Nice. About time.
2017, I should say.
Okay. About time.
All right, so back here in the Whiteland Raceway Park Tower, I'm here with Asher Ferris, who's going to actually help me commentate the main event for the Pro Division of the Pro-Am Driving for Dyslexia Karting Challenge, the first annual. We've also got a lot of raffles here. They had an online auction. We've got all kinds of stuff going on and all kinds of festivities here today. So first of all, we've got three ones we've already got to announce. McKenna Hassey has some die-cast and some shirts she's giving away. And then we've got a Lego and Elite Performance shirt, as well as a Fatheads gift package and Elite Performance t-shirts there as well. I think most of these were announced. We're just going to re-announce the numbers again. So for the Lego and Elite Performance t-shirts, that's 428529 for that one. We've got McKenna Hassey's one, which is for her die-cast and t-shirts for McKenna Hassey, 428364. And then we've also got the Fatheads gift package and Elite Performance shirts, which there's two winners for this one, 428516 and 428517. So we're waiting to see if we can get those winners to come on up and get their packages over from the Driving for Dyslexia tent. And then here is the big one, Asher Ferris. We're going to help draw the winning ticket. It was a 50-50 raffle. We can't look in. I'm going to trust you haven't bought a ticket. Have you bought a ticket?
I have not bought a ticket.
Okay, good. So we've got a fully unbiased raffle ticket we're going to draw from. So here we go. We'll mix it up. The 50-50 raffle, I think I was told $195. So
wow.
That's almost a set of tires for the go-kart, right?
Yes, that is a set of tires.
Yeah, or that's
Great to be here, by the way.
Yeah, great to have you. Sorry, I didn't introduce you properly and let you chat a little more, did I?
It's okay.
That's my bad. Well, you're the professional here. I'm just the one trying to make it. All right, let's go through, Asher. Here we go. I've mixed it up. Go ahead. What do you got?
Let's see. We got 6948025.
6948025. Calling that one out here, and that is our unofficial winner. We'll give it to them because they can't obviously come in and bombard us here in the tower, but we've got it on the live stream. You guys saw it. Nothing cheating, nothing about it. 6948025. Not that you could zoom in that close anyway, but that's going to be our 50-50 raffle winner. Now, Asher, you interview a lot of these IndyCar drivers on a regular basis. You don't, you know of some of the other ones. We were going through that entry list. You've been walking around the pits. Who is your pick to win this one?
So there's a lot of good ones here. Like, let's see, we got Callum Isla, Hunter McElroy, Alexander Rossi, Connor Daly, Ed Carpenter. A lot of those names are going to be battling.
Okay.
But if I were to pick one of those, I'd have to pick Rossi or McElroy.
That's smart. Now, why? Why those two guys? You picked the two tallest drivers out of that whole grouping here. Normally in go-karts, it's meant you'd be a little bit shorter. So why McElroy? Why Rossi?
Mostly why Rossi is because he's probably the most experienced of IndyCar racing and kart racing here. So I think, I'm not quite sure, but I think that's why he's up top.
Hey, I think he could be good. So I like those picks. I think Hunter McElroy is my dark horse. I think Hunter McElroy, right, he's getting to play with all the IndyCar guys, but he's the most recent one to come out of karts compared to just about everybody in the field outside of Elliott Cox. We expect Elliott to be really quick. Honestly, Elliott's going to really take the heat to these IndyCar guys because he's got laps around the racetrack. He was racing the club race here yesterday. They did not. So I don't know how that kind of seat time works out. That's a testing ban normally in pro racing. But anyway, for this charity, Elliott gets to start out. So if Elliott doesn't win with his weight advantage, with his lap time advantage, I've got a dark horse pick in Hunter McElroy. And I think Brendan Hartley and Felipe Albuquerque, specifically Brendan Hartley, I think could turn a lot of people's heads and really put the pressure on the IndyCar guys because our karting over here when they were coming up was strong. It's stronger now, I would say, in the U.S., but in Europe it's always been at a very high level. And Brendan Hartley's won at a high level as well, like Callum Ilott, who could also be good. And Callum's a little bit smaller than Brendan. So either one. Callum Ilott, Brendan Hartley, those are my top picks if you take out Elliott Cox because, again, he's got the cheat code to this racetrack. He's got so many laps here.
I agree with Elliott with Driving for Dyslexia. He has the best experience at Whiteland.
Exactly.
I can tell you that. He's mostly been racing at Whiteland his whole karting career. So he has a bunch of experience here at Whiteland Raceway Park.
Well, you can see in behind us that it is starting to shift into professional mode, and it's about go time. We're going to send it down trackside. We'll get set to call the action here, and we've got some fantastic news. We have hit our $1,000 goal to get that competition caution, so don't worry, race fans. We're going 10 minutes, re-racking the field, 10 more minutes to decide the overall winner of the first annual Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge. It all comes up next, live here on Kart Chaser from Whiteland Raceway Park. Asher Ferris, Xander Clements here on the call, and we can't wait to get things started. We're getting set to go green for the first annual Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Pro Division stint to close out the day again. While they've had the amateurs kind of set the grid for them, which has given Ed Carpenter the pole position starting spot. You can see them lining the go-karts aboard the Margig Knight Briggs & Stratton 206 machines. We'll look down the grid here to give you the starting lineup. Again, Ed Carpenter gets to start on the point. Hunter McElray will start second. Elliot Cox will get to line up in third, and he's going to be the smallest driver in the field and easy to pick out with that white and blue MPG Motorsports suit. You go back, McKenna Hassey in the number 55 has had probably the most consistent team through the amateur stint.
They're going to make sure Ed doesn't cheat this time.
Look at this. All the pros giving a round of applause for Ed Carpenter. No matter, he could win this race, and he's still going to get made fun of for that right there. As they should. Get that number 27, Alex Rossi, back. Look, he's going to leak the brake on. Yeah, there he goes. Push him back. Now he's hooked with Matt Brabham. They're stuck together.
That's weird.
All right, so that'll get fixed. Everyone's line. All right, let's try this again for the Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge, the first of two 10-minute segments to decide the entire overall event. Everyone's engines are fired. Ed Carpenter knows what to do from the pole now. And here we go. We go to our head flagman, Jason Burgess, and as well for the green flag for Julia Wilson. Green flag in the air. We're side by side for the lead, and Elliot Cox with a weight advantage is gone. Big time lead for the 51 already.
3 wide by Elliot Cox there, as we're being followed behind by, I don't quite know.
That was the 25, Hunter McElray, who was bouncing through the grass, and we've got one around near the back of the field as well. McElray drops back into third. Matt Brabham's trying to lock up on the inside of him in the hairpin. Yellow flags are flying all around as I think Brabham must have locked the brakes up, and a bunch of drivers have gone for a spin. And again, Elliot Cox gone already here with a big lead over everybody else. Ed Carpenter got caught sleeping. Alexander Rossi's into second. McElray is third. Then the field will work its way on through turn number 1. Matt Brabham's working the back bumper of the number 10 as they head towards the first sector on the racetrack, and that is going to be Felipe Albuquerque getting a good start. So again, Felipe Albuquerque with a decent one, but the first lap, we've already lost like 4 of these so-called pro drivers locking the brakes up here, Asher.
So, yeah, as I was watching out of the banking turn.
Oh, wait, what's going on? Look at that. We just had someone cut the racetrack. One of the drivers, was that Connor Daly? I think Connor Daly just cut the racetrack, Asher, and has cut himself somewhere into the field. The number 20 is now up into like 4th.
Connor Daly, severe penalties right there, if there is any in this race.
You'd like to hope so. Connor Daly already is making everybody else regret showing up by just cheating. He just cut across the racetrack from turn 3 over to, I believe, like turns 8 or 9. Elliot Cox is long gone, so Daly needs to do another cut if he wants to do anything. Oh, here's another one cutting the racetrack. Look at that. That's the number 10. Oh, no, this is an actual problem we've got over here. Looks like an actual mechanical.
Got a problem with the 10. Mechanical, probably a shame. We can't quite tell what's going on.
Yeah, that's Felipe Albuquerque. He'll get out of the go-kart here, so unfortunate for Felipe. Short notice to get into the field, and his Margig Knight go-kart will not last this entire first stint. Meanwhile, Ed Carpenter going on by with R.C. Anderson. They were collected on the first lap. Elliot Cox is going to hit lap traffic here as McKenna Hassey is going to be the first one to get caught up at the end of this first segment.
Yeah, Elliot Cox is just gone from the 27, Alexander Rossi. We can say that he just has too much experience here at Whiteland Raceway Park for the Driving Dyslexia Pro-Am.
Yeah, he is, like you said, flat gone from Alex Rossi. Rossi's at least doing pretty good, all things considered, for what he has described himself, as now Elliot Cox working the lap traffic of McKenna Hassey. Headed over on through. Rossi still second. Hunter McElray is third. Matty Brabham is 4th as the field works its way on through. And it looks like Felipe Albuquerque has been able to get back going.
Felipe Albuquerque back on the racing course after a brief mistake. I don't think that was a shame after he can get back out onto the racetrack in under a lap or 2.
Well, shout out to Captain Flannel, Mr. MPG Motorsports Billy Vincent, able to get out there and get that kart fired back up. So we stay green for the moment here. Oh, no, Albuquerque's back off. Albuquerque's off over at turn 2. So he got it fired up again. It did not stay running, and Felipe Albuquerque's day might be done early. He's making his way over to the pit lane. An unfortunate early exit for the prototype driver as he waits for the field to come on by down the front straightaway.
Albuquerque, that is a hard day for him there. Yeah, we can say that he just has, like, I wouldn't say no luck, but I would say, like, maybe a little bit of a concerning cart. Like, you can say he would make a brief mistake, 1, and then, like, 2 turns later make a brief mistake, 2. Albuquerque with a tough day.
Yeah, tough day for Felipe Albuquerque with the cart breaking down. The rest of the field still green, so Albuquerque out. Elliott Cox still leads over Alex Rossi and Hunter McElroy, and now we can see why the pro drivers were wanting to get a competition caution. Cox is going to slowly catch up to the potential lap traffic of Ed Carpenter and R.C. Anderson here before sooner rather than later. They've already worked through the lap traffic of McKenna Hassey in the number 55 as she's been shuffled down the order to the end of about 6th or 7th through the field. Going by her now over into the hairpin section. That is the number 67 of Brendan Hartley. He went on by, so Hassey's still working her way around. Here's a little battle again still with Carpenter and R.C. Anderson, and Elliott Cox closing in the number 51 MPG Motorsports entry. So Elliott Cox at his own charity event, I don't know, sounds a little bit fishy to me winning your own race, huh, Asher?
About 5 minutes left to go. This place is extremely packed with extreme racing.
Yeah, and it's all spread out. You know, right now, that's why we're going to get that competition yellow for it to get even more extreme. Yep. They're going to be going at it here very hard in that final segment, and you can bet Elliott Cox, he's not going to get away with an easy jump. With all these pro drivers, they know when someone's that fast and that can pull away, the first thing you do, you pass them and you get them behind you so that way you can try and block and hold them off, because if they let him get out in front again, he's just going to walk away, just like he is right now here, as we're about a little past the halfway marker in the opening segment. Cox the leader, Rossi second. Hunter McElroy's actually getting reeled in a little bit by Matt Brabham for the 3rd spot. Matty Brabs is on the way in the number 83. They're headed up to the big banked corner, turn number 4.
So it looks like Ed Carpenter and, let's see, that is the, I don't know, but Ed Carpenter closing in on, I think it's McKenna Hassey.
Yeah, he is. So that's lap traffic of McKenna Hassey. Carpenter and R.C. Anderson, they're at the tail end of the lead lap as well. Elliott Cox is going to catch them right as they catch up to McKenna Hassey, who's about to go a lap down, and Hassey is really the one that's at the biggest disadvantage here, right? She's the only driver from an oval background and sprint car racing, and had, unlike Elliott Cox, has 0 laps at Whiteland Raceway Park, where Cox has the most laps out of the field, probably more than anybody else on the racetrack combined. Doesn't even equate to half the laps for Elliott Cox. But he's got the kids on the fence line because, again, he's not even 16 years old yet, and he's out there beating all the pros from IndyCar, from IMSA, from sprint car racing, and alike.
Elliott Cox just passing McKenna Hassey, I think that is. Yeah, McKenna Hassey. Looks like he's going to close in on, I think that's Ed Carpenter.
Lap themselves, get McKenna Hassey on the lead lap, get Ed Carpenter, R.C. Anderson back on the same fighting ground as everybody else.
Yeah, let's see. That's Elliott Cox slowly closing in on Brennan. So I think that's going to be a fun battle there as well. Elliott Cox coming around the final corner. I think Brennan just exiting turn 1. That's going to be a fun battle as well.
Yeah, we'll see if Brendan Hartley fights hard to stay on the lead lap. If he'll get saved by the bell, maybe gets to hang on and not get put a lap down before that competition caution comes. I can hear them on the radio going back and forth of when to throw that competition yellow to shuffle the field on backwards. Alexander Rossi, again, credit to him. He's doing a pretty bang-up job at the moment. Matt Brabham has closed in on or pulled away a little from Hunter McElroy, but as they work through the lap traffic of McKenna Hassey, that'll tighten up. So that's a good battle as you see Ed Carpenter, R.C. Anderson going by. Here's Rossi going through. Here's a big gaggle of carts led by Matty Brabs. And it looks like Hinchtown's going to get beaten up by Brendan Hartley. Hartley gets by on him. So Hinchtown trying to work his way past on him, and Brandon Hartley gets the advantage and gets by.
Connor Daly is on his own. No draft, no nothing. Elliot Kotz and Brandon Hartley are...
Oh, no, my mistake. I think that was Callum Eilert getting by. That was Callum Eilert going by on it, and James Hinchcliffe. Brendan Hartley's a little further back there, so my mistake there, Asher. Just had to get on that one, and here's the yellow. Yellow flag in the air. Elliot Cox there, so Callum Eilert into the top 5, gets by James Hinchcliffe on the final lap of segment 1, and he'll hold the spot to the line. It'll then be Matty Brabs again, just ahead of Hunter McElray. So Matt Brabham into 3rd. Alex Rossi is 2nd. McElray 4th. Then it is Callum Eilert. Then James Hinchcliffe. Then I believe next in line should be Connor Daly. Then Brendan Hartley. And then it'll be Ed Carpenter, R.C. Anderson, and McKenna Hassey, as we lost Felipe Albuquerque, unfortunately, due to a mechanical failure early on. So Cox is going to form the field up for what looks to be a double file restart. I think they're going to take one more lap around to let the rest of the field form up. And I don't know if they're going to cycle out the lap traffic or if McKenna Hassey will get to start anywhere, if R.C. Anderson and Ed Carpenter start anywhere. We're waiting on Brendan Hartley to get up there. He's still one lap down, and Hartley's not even up there yet, and they're giving the green.
Let's go into the first corner. I think we're clean through there. Looks like there's going to be a little too wide pass followed.
Oh, Hunter McElray turns Callum Eilert. And just like that, Callum Eilert had been coming through the field this entire first segment. He gets turned sideways by Hunter McElray. And Elliot Cox already walking away at about 100 pounds lighter than the rest of the pack, so they're fighting for second. Rossi's going to lose that spot to Matt Brabham. And so Matty Brabs gets up to P2 as he tries to hunt down the kid on the 51. But again, no weight distributed like there normally would be in a regular kart race, right, Asher? You got to meet a minimum weight, stack some lead on the car, just like with car racing. Not the case here. All for a good cause. But Elliot Cox right now just driving away from the field. I wonder if he might back off a little bit and play with him as the race goes on.
Brabham is trying to catch the 51. Now that he is in second place, that is going to be, like, if he can catch him in the next, let's say, 5 laps, if he can run, he can get the win in this race.
Well, credit to Matt Brabham here. He's doing a fine job keeping Alexander Rossi at bay. Then you go back to Ed Carpenter. I don't know how Ed snuck up into the mix. I don't think he ever cycled to the back as the lap traffic, but he's enjoying himself 4th in line. Then it's Connor Daly, 4th overall. It should be then James Hinchcliffe and then Callum Eilert, who's having to pass him for the second time here in the Pro Feature after getting turned off the front bumper. Hunter McElray battling for 3rd off the restart. So Elliot Cox continues to lead over Matty Brabs, Alexander Rossi. Ed Carpenter is 1 lap down in the middle of the mix there. So 4th on the circuit's Daly and 5th under heavy fire. This will be the battle. It's for P5. James Hinchcliffe versus Callum Eilert, headed to turn 1 for the second time. Eilert on the bumper. Here he comes up to the high bank corner here, Asher, and they're closing in on Connor Daly as well.
Just 8 minutes to go. 2 minutes passed. Looks like it's going to be Elliot Kotz still in the lead. Brabham following closely, trying to at least. Shortly behind, I think that's Rossi. Yeah, that's Rossi. And then behind that is Ed Carpenter, and then we got...
Oh, Hunter McElray is around off the front bumper of R.C. Anderson. So 2 of the younger drivers in the field get after it. R.C. Anderson and Hunter McElray go around in the grass.
McElray having a hard day here in that 25 SIK kart. This is going to be a wreck fest.
Yeah.
If you're in a big draft pack, you can make it a wreck fest.
Well, it's definitely
these drivers are too competitive as they are. This can get to a wreck fest.
Speaking of competitive, look at that. James Hinchcliffe throwing a dive bomb on Connor Daly. He gets by for 4th. Just up the road's the lap traffic. Ed Carpenter. Here comes Callum Eilert. Hinchcliffe gets a little bit of a gap as Daly falls back to 6th. So Eilert back in the top 5, and James Hinchcliffe has bought himself some real estate, having gotten ahead of Callum Eilert, and Connor Daly goes back to work at the end of the group there in 6th, while Elliot Cox still leads over Matty Brabham and Alexander Rossi.
Let's see. Elliot Kotz is still running away. Let's see. That is Matthew Brabham still right behind. Rossi, Carpenter, Hinchcliffe right on his tail of the Ed Carpenter machine. 2 teammates right by each other. Let's see if they act like teammates. Oh, wait. Sorry. I keep thinking Daly is still fourth, but my mistake there. Let's see, that's Hinchcliffe right behind the
Ed Carpenter Racing entry, yeah. And again, remember, Ed Carpenter is one lap down, too. So he's holding up this whole group. I don't know if he even cares that he's one lap down. Hinchcliffe's just trying to get around him. And now Callum Ilott is going to close in there in the fight for fourth. So they're going to head to turn number 1. Ilott half a cart length back from Hinchcliffe. And Hinchcliffe needs to probably put the bumper to old man Ed Carpenter and get him out of the way, because otherwise he'll get passed here for P4. He's been held up for a couple laps. You see Ilott going a couple different lines into that hairpin. I don't think Hinchcliffe was close enough to dive bomb Carpenter there. Look at this, Callum Ilott down the inside. He gets by.
Ilott making the move. Hinchcliffe tries to get it back. Oh, that's risky. Let's see. Callum Ilott contains the position. Let's see if this is going to be a hard battle past, let's see, that's Ed Carpenter. That is going to be a really, really close battle.
Yeah, well now, so Ed Carpenter still staying in front of these guys, being the blocker, one lap down. It's keeping Connor Daly in contention. He's about 5 to 7 car lengths back as the field works its way around, and Elliott Cox, dominant run here so far in both segments thanks to the weight advantage, and of course, being one of the best drivers in the modern era for Whiteland Raceway Park, having a lot of seat time around here. He's taking the IndyCar guys to school. I think it may just be more than one test day for them before they return for the second annual race here next year. But
it's made the move on Carpenter.
Good catch.
Carpenter trying to get that position back. Probably not going to happen there. But, Ed Carpenter tries to go on the outside. Doesn't work for him. Oh, we got one in there.
That was Carpenter there. Now Hinchcliffe just can't get around him. Ed Carpenter is holding up this fight for fourth. And here goes Hinch. Crossover move. Finally.
Finally past the 33 of Ed Carpenter. Daly, teammates. Ed Carpenter and Daly, they're right there together in that pack of 3. That's going to be a real close draft pack there with Daly and Carpenter.
Yeah, he did an awesome job keeping that car really wide. So here they go.
The real question in this team draft pack is, will there be a crash, or will they work together and Connor will just still fight to get by?
Yeah, I don't know. Already James Hinchcliffe has pulled away from Ed Carpenter, and Connor Daly is now on the bumper of the boss man. So he's, let's see, you get your boss in a team building event. Maybe you put the bumper to him, maybe you don't. Connor Daly is on the bumper through the big banked corner and into the hairpin as Elliott Cox is starting to work to the lap traffic once again. He'll catch up to McKenna Hassey here as the blue flag goes to the number 55 machine. She's at the tail end, and just up the road from her, I believe, is Brendan Hartley, who got turned sideways.
Connor Daly makes the move on Ed Carpenter. Will Ed try to stay with Daly, or will he just stay and be in his normal times, and Connor will just run?
Yeah, hard to tell. We'll find out. Ed Carpenter needs to find a little more pace if he wants to hang up with his top recruit in Connor Daly. So Daly pulling away a little bit, trying to close back up to James Hinchcliffe. And while we had that halfway caution kind of group everybody back up together, it really only benefited one man in particular. Matty Brabham is having a good day out in second. Alexander Rossi in third is actually going to be under fire for the podium. Callum Ilott is working his way forward. He's closing in on Rossi with about 2 minutes to go here in the closing stages of the Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge. Callum Ilott having to come from the back of the grid, got turned sideways at the start of segment 2. Hard to believe what he might have been able to actually do had he not gotten into it with Hunter McElray and been able to go forward even more so. So Callum Ilott, a European karting champion, making his way up to the stars of the INDYCAR Series and flexing his muscle as he gets set for his second season next year. Asher, you talked to a lot of those INDYCAR stars here this year. How do you rate Callum Ilott going into 2023? You think he's going to do pretty good?
Yes. That's all I can say is yes.
Oh, look at that. Oh, there's a cut of the racetrack. That is Matt Brabham. He cut the track to get to Cox. Matty Brabham has cut the racetrack and cut the lead down to a car length away. Let's see if he can get there. He's hopping in the seat, trying to close up. This race has just come unglued. Matt Brabham through the banking. Maybe he can send it down the inside. He's going to try it on Elliot Cox for the lead.
Ed Carpenter is staying with the 20 of Daly. That's going to be a risky draft pack right there. Lap traffic versus, what, 6th place? Let's see.
Yeah, they're getting to the lap traffic of McKenna Hassey as well, but Matt Brabham, he's going to need to pull another trick out of the hat. I don't know if he caught that as well, Asher. He cut the track coming out of the hairpin through that access road to go into the final corner because he realized he didn't have the pace to fight Elliot Cox. Now he's falling backwards again with 45 seconds to go, but Elliot is getting lap traffic in the form of, I believe, Brendan Hartley. I don't think Felipe Albuquerque made it back out on the circuit, so that is Brendan Hartley that Cox is going to get up to here. Coming to the white flag, 1 to go. Cox will go to the outside. Hartley gives way, and Elliot Cox fends off a charge from Matt Brabham, who cuts the track to try and get to him. And the rest of the field working their way on through. James Hinchcliffe gets by McKenna Hassey. Connor Daly holding off lap traffic. Ed Carpenter. They're all spread apart. Asher, final time.
Brabham is trying to get by the 67. Looks like he does. I don't know what happened there because it went from a close draft to a probably about 10 kart length gap.
Well, the pace just wasn't there. Elliot Cox cruises across the line to win the D4D Pro-Am Karting Challenge. Matt Brabham, a good sport, put up a good fight there. He finishes second. Third will go to Callum Ilott. He got by Alexander Rossi late in the going. Callum Ilott, a sleeper pick there, works his way up into the podium. Rossi falls back to 4th at the end. Then we go to James Hinchcliffe and then Connor Daly to round off the top 6 that I think were the main ones that remained on the lead lap as Brendan Hartley went a lap down at the end. R.C. Anderson, Hunter McElray were involved in incidents throughout that one. McKenna Hassey kept her nose clean, just struggled a little bit, but Elliot Cox wins, and Matt Brabham threw everything he had at him. Asher, he even threw the kitchen sink by cutting the course, and he just couldn't beat the young gun Elliot Cox, eh?
So let's see, our final grid for this race. Let's see, we got the 51 of Elliot Cox, 83 Matt Brabham, 77 Callum Ilott, Alexander Rossi, looks like that's James Hinchcliffe, and then we got Connor Daly, Ed Carpenter, let's see, who's the 25? Sorry, I'm having brief mistakes.
All good.
Hunter McElray.
Hunter McElray, yep.
McElray, see, that's...
You got the 19 of R.C. Anderson,
R.C.
the
Anderson.
67 of Brendan Hartley, the 55 of McKenna Hassey, and, of course, a DNF for Felipe Albuquerque. A huge thank you to all the pros for coming out to compete here in this one, and that'll wrap up our live stream coverage, I believe, at least for the moment. We'll keep it going if we get any more post-race ceremonies. Asher, thanks for joining me up here in the booth, buddy. That was fun to call that last pro stint.
Straight to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So we'll take a quick break on the audio waves here for the moment. We'll get Felipe Albuquerque's cart off the racetrack, get everybody else into the pit lane. And for Whiteland Raceway Park, that wraps up the on-track coverage of the Driving for Dyslexia Pro-Am Karting Challenge. We'll come back if we get a little more information. Of course, we had the awesome drawings. We got more intel coming your way, and we'd love to be able to hear from the top finishers.